Jake Paul has made a very immediate impact on the world of combat. But his biggest fight continues to be convincing the UFC president, Dana White, to pay his fighters more money. Except White doesn't trust him.
I think that Jake Paul probably needs to get some different people around him. If he's going to stay in the sport, he needs to be with guys that actually really know how to put on fights.
Ever since the YouTuber turned fighter turned his attention to professional combat, he has loudly and repeatedly expressed his opinions on UFC fighter pay. Specifically, he believes UFC fighters get far too little compensation for the work they do. And compared to other major American sporting leagues, he has a point. In the UFC, fighters currently get around 15 to 18% of all profits, while the rest goes to the company and its investors. In the NFL, NBA, NBL, and NHL, the athletes get 50% thanks to players' unions. That's why when Paul boxed UFC legend Anderson Silva, he made this wager.
If I win, me and you come together to create a United Fighters Association to help UFC fighters get better pay and better health care. You become the interim president, and we unite to help these fighters once and for all.
Deal.
Wow. Let's go.
It was a nice idea, but nothing happened. So Paul has come up with a new approach, and it's really quite simple.
On the biggest stage.
If the UFC paid every fighter enough to fight full-time, they'd train more, eat right, and be the best they could be. In turn, the UFC would be the best it could be. But could the UFC afford it? If they changed the fighter minimum to $50,000 per fight, it would only cost the UFC $20 million per year, insists Paul. But that $20 million would be going into the smaller fighters' pockets, and it's the world of a difference. Meanwhile, the UFC is making $3 billion. The numbers sound good, but it's more complicated than that. And the man who made the UFC won't take financial advice from Jake Paul. Not when Paul organizes pay-per-views at Madison Square Garden that he cancels the day before because someone weighed in heavy. White won't listen because he doesn't trust Paul.
What did you make of the whole, his opponent was too big and...
I think they sold under $1 million in tickets, and it cost $500,000 to turn the lights on at MSG. That's what I think.
Thanks for watching. And remember, if you want more fight sports in your life, just hit the subscribe button.